Hi, Srivalli.
Hi, Shanti.
So your demo is on Form Recognizer, Azure Form Recognizer solution.
Yeah,
Okay, please go ahead.
all right. I'm Srivalli. I have almost about 15 years of experience in IT industry that includes various roles. My latest experience being at Microsoft Redmond. Today, I'm going to demo one of the Azure cognitive services called Form Recognition Service as part of my job coaching on Azure Cloud, DevOps, and generative AI services. Let's begin. Azure generative AI services, and one of the services is one of the categories of generative AI services on Azure is cognitive services, and Form Recognizer is one of the services under cognitive services category. Today's agenda is first, let's visit what Azure Form Recognizer is. And next, creating Form Recognizer service. I'll show you how to create the Form Recognizer service on Azure, and then making API calls overview. I'm going to explain about how this service can be called with API calls. Make API call with the Postman. Initially, we are going to try making a call with Postman, and we're going to visit the JSON response. Integrating with a React application, how it can be integrated with a React application. And I can show you a little demo of the React app to integrate with the service. And handling the API service, handling the response from the API service. We will discuss about that. Azure Form Recognizer, understanding Azure Form Recognizer. As I said, it's a cognitive service that leverages the power of AI to extract data from forms. So you can just scan a form, and a form can be any kind of a form. It can be an invoice, or it can be a receipt, a bill, any kind of a bill. So there are other kinds of documents. Just to list out some examples, those are the examples. And then this allows you to automate data entry, streamlining processes, and gain valuable insights from your documents. So pre-built models, Form Recognizer offers pre-trained models for common form types such as invoices, receipts, and applications. Custom models, you can create custom models to handle unique form layouts and data structures, providing flexibility for specific needs. I could also create an Excel sheet with some data, with some numbers in it, and the Form Recognizer can read those numbers. API integration. The service provides a user-friendly API that allows you to integrate into your applications and workflows. So this is what I was saying. You can call this API. You can send a post request to this API from your React app. It could be a React app, or you could use an iOS app. You could write a Swift code to call the API, or you could even use Python to just submit the request and get the response. Scalability and reliability. Azure Form Recognizer offers scalability and reliability, ensuring efficient processing of large volumes of forms. Like with any other Azure service and Azure resources, scalability and reliability is a feature of this service as well. Creating Form Recognizer service endpoint. So you can go to Azure and create it as a service. Go to the marketplace and you can select document intelligence and form recognizer. Select that, and then you can deploy that service. Once the service is deployed, you will see an endpoint like this. Making API calls overview. So basically, you have to create the request body. You have to add the relevant HTTP headers with the values, and then as soon as you deploy the service on Azure here, you will be given an endpoint. So you just read that endpoint, and then you read that endpoint. For example, if you're using Postman, you create a post request with that endpoint, and you give the relevant headers in the request body. And in addition to the relevant headers, it also takes the request body. Under request body, it takes the image. So if you have any scanned image of a document like a receipt or a bill or an invoice, the other kinds of documents, any kind of document that you want the service to read and make sense of the data in it, you can use those documents, and the image of that document goes into the request body here, and it's a post request. API call with the Postman. I'm going to demo you. I'm going to open the Postman app, and I'm going to demo how this works. We will submit a request with the cognitive service, and then we will get a response. The response that's given out is a JSON format, and it looks something like this. You can see, if you drill down the JSON here, you can see the total amount. Here, I used a Safeway receipt, and the total amount came out perfectly accurate. And talking about integrating with a React application, you install the React required packages. You use Axios to connect to the backend, and you install the relevant React packages. And then you configure the endpoint. Endpoint is the one when you deployed the Azure service. You get that and you paste it into your React wherever you're submitting the request, the post request. And then you do this on the form recognizer component. Yeah, I'm going to show you some code today as well. We can visit how the post request looks like, and the headers and all that. And then handling API responses. So once you get the API response can be read as a JSON file. And then you can process the JSON file. You can either input this JSON file into another cognitive service in Azure, like maybe Analytics. Analytics is one of the other cognitive services that could take this JSON as a request body, and then it could analyze the data and give you some analytics. Or you could just display the data in the app. And then handling the API responses. API responses can be displayed on the UI or data parsing. The response data is parsed and converted into usable format for your React application. The response contains structured data representing the recognized fields and their values. That's the JSON. The structured data is the JSON that you get. And then data validation. The extracted data can be validated to ensure accuracy and completeness, catching any potential errors. And in the conclusion, Azure Form Recognizer offers a powerful solution for automating data extraction from forms. By integrating it into your applications, you can streamline processes, improve efficiency, and gain valuable insights from your documents. There are key benefits that are automation, accuracy, and scalability. And the use cases can be invoice processing, customer onboarding, insurance claims. So any kind of document that you have, you can take that as an input. You can scan it and you can use that as an input to the service.
Yeah, what happened?
Oh, I'm done.
Srivalli,
Oh, yeah.
screen
Hello?
share is disappeared.
Yeah, I accidentally pressed the.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so to demo the um, deployment in Azure, okay, let's create. Okay, let's not start with the. Let's create a resource. Click on create a resource and search for form recognizer. Document intelligence form recognizer, and select that, create it. I'm going to create a new resource group. And name of the service, I'm going to give my form recognizer service. Oh, okay, so let's do ABC. We want to create a unique name that doesn't already exist. Okay, so review. So the resource group, name of the resource group, and it's going to be in Central US, my form recognizer service -ABC. Create. Let's make sure my Postman is, I'm logged into my Postman tool here, my Postman app here. Post request, okay. We're waiting for the deployment to finish. Go to resource. This is the endpoint, and this is the key you would want to use for authorization. So copy the endpoint and create a post request. I already have a post request. I'm going to change the endpoint to the one that I newly created. Okay, and the headers. We have to make sure content type header is there, and it's set to octet stream application /octet stream. And we have to make sure this subscription key header is present, and the value of the subscription key header is nothing but the key authorization key that you are given when you create the service. You change this into the authorization key, and the body is I already have a JPEG file. So you use this one. You use any, so let me show you some samples of the JPEG files that I have. I'm going to, I have used in my testing. This is a medical bill, and this is actually a receipt, a grocery bill. And this is another grocery bill. So, okay, I'm going to submit the request with the grocery bill here. All right, so this request succeeded. Let's take a, so once the request is succeeded, this is a post request and it's an asynchronous call. And you're not going to get a response just directly. You have to poll this service. So it's going to give you the endpoint that you need to poll to get the response. So this is another GET request. You have to Okay, so this is another GET request, and you have to give the subscription key here for the GET request as well.
It takes some time, right? JSON
No, it is
population.
giving me subscription, wrong API, and it's giving me subscription key, invalid subscription key, or wrong API endpoint. So the API endpoint is correct because this is the one returned by the post request. And the subscription key, is it the same as we have here? Yeah, we used a different key, that's why. Okay. Send the request. Okay, so we can see the request succeeded, and you can see the JSON response here. And if we went down a little bit, we might find this is the transaction time. Transaction date, which was June 10th, 2024. And then what else is interesting here? Total price was $77. Yeah, so now to show you a little React app, this is how the code looks like. I wrote a little React app with one component that calls into the service. And here's the post request. This is how the post request looks like. And this is the endpoint. We give the endpoint, and these two are the headers that are set. And then we are setting a timeout for the post request to complete. We are giving some time for the post request to complete. And then we are going to poll for the response. Once you get the response, you have to submit another GET request, just as we did in Postman. You submit another GET request with the right key. And then we read the response, get result response dot data, and we can process this data. We can process this data and probably display it on the UI or use another service to further maybe show analytics or do another activity with the data. All right, so this concludes my demo on the Azure Form Recognizer service. Thank you.